Hi, so I thought I'd make a video on the Renault Duster, my ownership experience of it. I'll probably split the video into two parts. This video should cover the 10 things that I strongly dislike about the vehicle and the drivability or the driving aspects of it. To start with, this is a 2013 make RXL variant 110 PS Renault Duster. I'll try and keep the first few points limited to the interiors of the car, and then we will talk about the driving aspect of it. First and foremost, safety. Although the car does come with an ABS, and trust me, an ABS is something that cannot be overlooked. It is very important, especially in panic braking situations, especially for a car of this size and this proportions. But there are no airbags. No airbags for the driver, no airbags for the passenger. This is something that shouldn't have been overlooked by Renault, and I strongly feel that airbags is a mandate. Second up, now since we're talking about the interiors, I would like to point out to the cabin insulation, the plastic quality involved, and the storage spaces available. The cabin insulation is very poor. I get a lot of road noise and the ambient sounds outside of the car creeping into the cabin. Any speeds above 120, 125, you get a distinct whoosh sound of an air leak through the window sills. Now I believe this has been rectified in the 2016 models and later, but prior to that, 2012, 13, 14, 15, this distinct air sound is there anywhere above 120, 125 kmph. It becomes very irritating on long drives out on the highway, and what you'll have to do to deafen this sound is to jack up the volume on the stereo system, which is which is not the right approach. And quite a few rattles, creaks within the cabin. The rear parcel tray, my god, now that is a complete nuisance on bad roads. I will upload another video which involves using a lot of foam, a lot of sponge, a lot of two-sided sticker tape. I have tried to arrest a lot of these creaks and rattles within the cabin. I can say maybe 50% of the creaks and rattles within the cabin, but it's a relatively noisy cabin. The plastic quality is not bad, it's ruggedly built. It could have been a little more premium feeling, a little more plush for a car this price again. The infotainment system, again, the music system is not up to the mark. For anybody who is into music, would not appreciate this music system. The Bluetooth connectivity, that has a mind of its own. 4 out of 10 times, the connection will just not go through. Now, off the showroom, the car comes with this Bluetooth connectivity, which you can use to hook up to your phone, answer calls. A lot of your contact information is displayed on the screen here. But 4 out of 10 times, the connectivity just doesn't go through. I mean, it's become so much of a hassle that now I prefer answering the phone on my own manually here instead of waiting for the connection to go through. Fourth point, auto power windows. There are none. Every time you want to roll up the window, you'll have to prick on the button and wait for the window to roll up. Every time you want to roll down the window, you have to push the button, wait for the window to roll down. That becomes very irritating. I mean, these are the minor conveniences that should be provided on a car, again, of this price. I mean, end of the day, it all comes down to the value for money the car offers and the conveniences And these are the minimalistic things that should be looked into. Likewise, another very irritating part is there is no auto door lock. I mean, usually when cars pick up to a certain speed, say 20 kmph or 15 kmph, the doors lock automatically. In this, it doesn't. You'll have to manually lock, unlock, lock, unlock. That's irritating, man. Okay, that's irritating. If you forget to lock the doors remain unlocked while you're driving. Okay, this is a major safety concern. Coming down to the driving aspect of it, it's got a Notchy gearbox. The gearbox isn't the best in town, and it doesn't give you that feel-good factor when you're upshifting or downshifting. It's also got a very distinct turbo lag. I won't say bumper to bumper traffic, but when you're stuck in traffic, dense traffic, and when you shift between the first and the second gears, you notice a distinct turbo lag where you'll have to wait for the turbo to spool up, and then the power kicks in. Now this is not there in the 85 horsepower variant. I have driven the 85 horsepower variant, and it's got a very linear drive to it, almost like a petrol engine. But the 110 horsepower, it has a distinct turbo lag between the first and the second gear shifts. This is not a car that likes to be driven hard. It's got a reasonable drive to it. Just don't push it. I frequent Hyderabad, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Hyderabad, Nagpur very frequently. The highways are fantastic, and 120 kmph feels like you're stagnant on certain roads, certain stretches of these highways. So that's when I want to be able to push the car a little more. I want the car to have a little more grunt. Compared to the 85 horsepower, yeah, the 110 horsepower variant is wow. But even then, this cabin insulation is a major letdown. The car above 125 kmph shifts character. Speeds close to 135, 140. The steering, the brakes, the car's potential, they just don't add up. The steering becomes very finicky, the brakes become very spongy, and it's a hair-raising experience. Switchback overtakings, cornerings, above 125, 130 kmph again. Below this, the car is very stable, very minimalistic body roll, and actually fun to drive. In the city, it's got a grunt to it. It feels like driving a lorry sometimes. It's got a very noisy engine, and with the windows rolled down, it actually feels like driving a lorry. The ninth point, I would like to point out the stock headlights. They aren't the best in the business, especially if you are into night driving and highway drives. It's not up to the mark. I'm going to be fixing an additional set of auxiliary fog lamps. I'll keep you posted on that. And finally, if I was to talk about value for money, now since this is a 2013 variant, the only aspect that I can think about is buying it used. When you look into the used market, the Duster, it demands quite a price. It can be justified as a value for money car off the showroom, because at 14.5 lakhs, I believe, on road, it's quite a good car. But when you're looking at Dusters in the used market, they demand quite a sum, and most of them have done, say, anywhere between 70 to 90,000 kilometers, which is not the right mileage bracket to be looking into when you're buying used cars. Engines will last. Okay, any dealer you step into, they will tell you, अरे ये गाड़ियाँ 2-2.5 लाख किलोमीटर सुकून से चलता है, आराम से चलता है. It's not only the engine that you should be concerned about, the other components, the other consumables, the other mechanicals, steering pump, brake master cylinders tend to fail. Suspension is usually the first thing on its way out when you buy a car above 75,000 kilometers. The suspension on this vehicle is good. I will make 10 things probably that I like about the vehicle video shortly, but now, just to understand, the suspension on the car is good. And what happens when the suspension is good is a lot of people tend to abuse the car on bad roads. That's why usually it is the suspension that is the first thing on its way out when you pick a vehicle done between 70 to 1 lakh kilometers. Try and avoid that. So if you're looking in the mileage bracket of between 25 to 40,000 kilometers, the Dusters, they demand quite a high price. Is it value for money? Hi. So now I did manage to finish that recording with my verdict on it. And we've already established that maybe buying a used Renault Duster is not the brightest of ideas. It isn't. But what about owning one? Is it more of a head over heart kind of question? I don't know. Let's wait for the other video. Meanwhile, if you like this video, if you find it informational, do hit the like button, do subscribe. Until next time.